On the escalator again.
Leave it alone.
What?
Comics.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
TV and movies. Wrestling. Music.
We are just getting started!
Finally, a podcast about things you actually care about, hosted by a couple of guys who actually care about those things too.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Maybe a little too much.
Yes, that's awesome.
The talented one, Chris Machete.
That no-talent ass clown became famous.
And Brenton, you know, that guy from your other favorite podcast.
I liked it. I was good at it.
So grab onto the handrail and don't let go.
There's a little boy caught the escalator!
This is the Kids on the Escalator podcast.
Woo!
Here's CM and BD.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Hey, hello.
Yo, what's going on, man? It's you.
Cheers.
out of the depths.
Yeah, I had COVID. I don't anymore. I tested positively fine today.
Well, you still got the thing. You still got a different tone to you. I can hear you.
You know what? It's allergies now, man. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah, you and the allergies.
It's allergies. My allergies are horrible, especially being in this office. I just had to open the window because it's like, I was fine, honestly, until I got in here. Now I'm just like, this is the cat room.
You and my wife hate
You should see my office, man. Last night, I went into my office. I was up late, and I was just like, I got out the fantastic spray and the paper towel. I went along all the window ledges, and I did my door handle and all the door I vacuumed in there. Just tidied everything up. You know what I mean? It's great in my office. No, this office in here is a little cat hairy-ish and a little dusty.
You and my wife in the spring are just, it's a nightmare.
Oh, it is. I don't like it much. But no, yeah, COVID-wise, I had it. And if I didn't take the test, I wouldn't have known I had it. I'm pretty, I haven't had a cold or a flu or anything like that in over a decade, well over a decade. I'm talking like nothing. So I didn't really have much to compare it to because I couldn't remember, but it wasn't that bad. I was tired.
It's interesting because
I had 2 shots though as well, right? Just to say I did have 2 shots. So I don't know what it would be like if I didn't have any shots.
I don't know. I mean, my whole family got it on my birthday. I was away doing a show, and then they all tested positive. My wife took it really hard. She actually had a really rough go with it.
Not too bad.
You know, just the way it went. You know, no one's been sick. You forget what it's like to be sick. You know what I mean? Because everyone's been staying in and doing things. You're like, oh, I got a little scratch in my throat or something. You're like, ah, shit, I think I got the COVID. You know, so everyone kind of goes through the thing. But
I popped my mask off. I took my mask off. That's how I got mine. First time that I was actually legally allowed to take it off, I was like,
here we go.
I got COVID right away.
Thanks, Ford. Thanks, buddy.
No, but it was my own fault. I could have kept it on. I take total blame for it.
Listen, man.
Of course, you feel I felt like impervious to it as well, right? It was like as soon as I took off my mask and ran around naked, you know what I mean, like without the mask on. Oh man, I got it. And then of course I gave it to my wife, and she has it now. She's feeling better. She's a cancer survivor, so we were worried because it was lung cancer she had. So she's feeling better, but she took the test today and she still tested positive for having COVID. So, but she doesn't feel that bad either. I think like if you didn't know she had COVID, you wouldn't be able to tell. That's kind of the scary thing, right? So I just thought I should take a test just because I heard a lot of people, you know, and we're getting COVID, and I thought, well, hey man, I got a little tingle in my throat here. Could be COVID. I'm pretty tired. And I was like, it was, and I was kind of like, oh, it shocked me. I really was.
It's me.
I was just doing it to kind of like just do it, to stick the thing way up there and just try it. And there it was, two lines, and it was like, whoa, look at that, I got COVID. Then of course Lonnie got it, and we were stuck here for a while. Sucked.
You know, the thing is, it's everyone has their everyone is going to deal with it in their own way, and that's the whole thing about this. It's like the fight, the this and that, and all the rest of it. People are they're going to deal with it in the way that they're going to deal with it. They're going to react to the way they're going to react to it. They're going to, I just got a clean bill of health 3 months ago. Took me a long time, but I had the original shit. So maybe I'm, you know what I mean? I had that original good COVID. You know what I'm saying? Not this cut down Miami stuff. I had the Colombian shit.
There you go. There you go.
Anyways,
I wouldn't even know though. But my point, like, I wouldn't even have known it. So
Yeah,
if
well, I'm
I
glad
would have
you
went out and
didn't.
spread it around, how many more
Yeah,
people would I probably spread that to?
exactly.
You know what I mean? If I didn't
Exactly.
take the test, they'd been, and it could have been some old people. Who knows, right? Because when you go to Walmart, it's a little column A, a little column B of the mask and non-mask.
Totally.
So when I went there, I actually when I went, yeah, I was bringing it down. I'm like letting my nose come out, or if I saw if it was a big crowd, I'd be like, I'd put it back up.
Well, I just did, a lot of time in America. And for all the press and silliness that people are talking about, I was in Florida, I was in the Carolinas, I was in all those places, and a lot of people wear masks. And in the arenas too, like I couldn't believe in like Columbia, South Carolina, it was like 50-50. Colorado 50-50. And it wasn't until this trip that I just took to Vegas and Arizona with the family and everything, where it was like go time and everyone had the mask off and everything. And whatever. I mean, to each their own. I've kind of, at the shows and backstage, you leave your office, you got to, it's a policy. We have the mask on, everyone does it. It's fine. I don't really have it on a lot now. I'll have it if it's giant crowds. Maybe I would do something, but
that's good. That's good
for concert wise.
Yeah.
We test every day on tour, regardless. They're still running it. So you're in a crowd of 15,000 people. I'm putting it on, not necessarily for me anymore. Like at this point, and not that I feel like I'm bulletproof or something. I just, again, I don't want to just miraculously be the guy that brings it into the tour. Let someone else do that. So
yeah,
that's kind of what. But anyways, I'm glad you're back to it. And it's been a couple of weeks. I've been touring, even doing the thing. I had a family vacation, so here we are. We're back, and a lot of shit has gone on.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. The world is a very strange place, man. It's funny. I don't want to. What do you want to tackle first? I guess we should tackle the slap that went around the world. Is that?
I mean, there's a bit of that. I think the first thing I want to do is just say this is that through the machete times and stuff like that, we meet some people, and a gentleman that was on our first record with us in the studio with me with Dale and stuff, and played some drums, and it was part of our friends in Modern Day Braves. Smitty passed away, so I just want to pass that along to Joe and Eric and everybody with the Braves and everybody that we're super close with Smitty. But he made the time and would always, would always come and hang out with us and shit, and came into the studio with Dale from the Headstones, me. We did that hidden drum track for fun back whenever
that he was on there as well.
And when everyone
Eric told me he watches. Maybe Eric's there. Hopefully Eric's watching. Hey,
Eric. So a sad day for that camp particularly. But the machete history. There's a drum track that was hidden, and Smitty was on it with us and Dale Harrison, and sadly passed this week. And I just want to say sorry to everybody, and all the love to you guys and our brothers and all the bands that we've played with that were touched by Smitty and all the rest of it. Great guy, and he'll be missed. So
party on, be excellent to each other.
That's right, man. So well, there's a couple ways that we can go with it, but let's go. We're obviously going to get into Taylor. We're going to get into a few things, but I think the first thing we got to talk about is this, because this is some funny shit.
The slap that was heard around the world.
Yeah, and it's been a few days now, and people are kind of wrapping their head around this whole thing a little bit. It's Chris Rook from the network wrote a really cool article about a guy named Max Burns was doing some research into Scientology and claims that this is a Scientology move. If you're offended or if some, or you got to smack the shit out of somebody to like straighten him up. And if Will didn't do it, somebody above him would have came and smacked the shit out of him. So it's kind of this weird kind of Scientology thing, which, I thought maybe I knew this, but maybe I didn't know that he was part of Scientology.
Oh, I didn't know he was part of Scientology. I don't know. Because I didn't think you were allowed to see your kid or be like family life thing. But did you see their entrance to the show? Will Smith and his wife?
No.
She came in like she was like this huge dress that people had to carry behind her.
Sure.
Like they are beyond. My wife and I have talked about Will Smith years ago this started, and I remember saying like Will Smith's lost it. I don't like him anymore. I can't get behind what he does. I don't like his movies. I see interviews with him, and his kids when they're younger are basically saying they know more than adults do, and that's not how opinion kids should have. So I started seeing this happening, right? And it's like, wow. So it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. If you have too much money, you're gonna act like a effing idiot, and that's what he did. You know what I mean?
It was such an odd decision to do because
oh my God, he ruined his night.
He ruined his career.
Well, we'll see what happens there, right? But we can't predict that. We don't know because stranger things have happened, right?
Well, yeah, and I agree. I mean, I guess if Mel Gibson,
he ruined his night. Like he ruined that night. He just ruined his night. But you know who's not? You know whose night he didn't ruin?
Chris Rock, who just sold out all of his shows.
Well, his wife.
Well, she's come to his defense, and
she loved it, dude. She loved it.
There's all this side video of it all, though. There's the video of her watching it happen, and kind of cheering it on. But then there's a video that I just saw on Twitter, and it's just too late that we got on here, of actually Will and Chris after, and they're hugging it out.
Oh, of course they are.
And Chris is like, that's why there's a lot of people that are thinking this is a work of some kind.
Maybe
because they're, and the only thing I would say about that is that it's and I think we touched on this in a text a little bit, but if Jack Nicholson went up there and slapped Denzel Washington, it would be white guy smacking black guy.
Wow.
Right.
Well, if
but
it was
the fact that that it was relatively ignored, and it's like so there is a little bit of a side discussion, and this isn't even a conspiracy thing. It's just we're in discussion here. There's a side discussion about whether it was a work, and only those are in on it to show the racism in Hollywood that no one really cared, and they just let it, because he was asked to leave and didn't leave. It's like there's the whole thing. To me, it's the whole thing's really wacky. The whole thing's really wacky to me. And a lot of people are touching on it. Obviously, you never come up, like, comedians must be freaking out right now.
Oh yeah, well, Will Smith is super powerful. He's got tons and tons of money, and his wife is, she was awesome in Scream. Was it 2? She was in for 5 minutes. I can't remember anything that she was in that I really enjoyed. I'm sorry. But I don't know. I just thought their entrance was really pompous. I've watched them get really, really wealthy, and I've watched them lose touch with society. And you see a lot of people do this, man. Tons and tons of celebrities and other people that they get like this. And he's totally lost touch, man. When he was yelling at him at the end there, like, and everybody was silent. Even funnier to just show society, he got a standing ovation later.
Well, Jim Carrey touched on it the most. Jim Carrey was like, how do you fucking give this guy a standing ovation? Afterwards, I would have sued him for $200 million. That's why, to me, there's something missing here. And that's why I feel like there's something.
It's society. No, that's how society works these days.
I guess you're right.
That's how society works these days.
It just feels like it. And I was, I got to tell you, man, I've been a Will fan because of some of the stuff that he talks about. I love that. I'm talking about, sure, there's the celebrity side of it and it's got out of control. But before that, there's the whole, like, how she's like, it's not your job to make me happy. It's my job to make, like, they've got this great, kind of relationship where they're like, we're an independent vessel. Like, we're two vessels kind of together. They have this whole thing going on.
Why do they feel the need to tell everybody that, though? That's what I don't know.
Well, she's got her show and all the rest.
Okay, so there you go. She has her show. Yes, totally. She does have her show, Brent. Yes, she does, and I'm giving her a big round of applause for her show.
They're in trouble, man. Created. They're in trouble because I think Mel Gibson's had to, like, do nothing but B movies since the Jewish thing that
he said, slur, though,
you know what I mean? But I mean, in this particular case, this is like a full-on assault on a stage in front of millions of people.
Yep.
And
then yelled at him later, and then got a round of applause.
Yeah. And then was dancing afterwards at the thing. There's sort of an entitlement there that's like, you're right, man. It's like it's kind of gone out of control. But it also really shines a light on just Hollywood in general. The fact that everyone was like, well, we have to stand up and we have to give him a standing ovation, because what if he doesn't see me stand up and giving him an ovation? I won't be in one of his movies.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Or we won't get invited to his giant pool. Anyways, that was crazy. I was getting ready to board a plane, and I'm like, what the fuck? is going on?
I saw it when I woke up, and it just really disappointed me.
Yeah,
but I wasn't surprised. I honestly was. I was like, oh, what an idiot. I wasn't surprised at all. But
so let me ask you this then: if it is determined that it's a work and it's like a wrestling work, right? If it is determined that it's a work and it's either used for marketing or it's used for some other kind of like message that they're trying to get across,
they have a movie coming out.
Yeah, totally. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if G.I. Jane 2 is actually happening with her.
If there's a movie coming out and this was all a work for a movie,
yeah.
Wow, that's
well.
Like
then, how do you feel about that? Is that the best thing ever? Or
genius? Yeah. Right. Are you kidding me?
So this is like
I'm a comic book guy. That's like
right.
Whoa.
This is where I'm like, there's got like, I wonder. God, I wonder if there's something happening.
I don't know. I think Will Smith has some mental troubles now because he's so rich. I think he doesn't, and then to carry on after you do that in front of the world at such an event and then just carry on after, like, hey,
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it is a work and it's a plan and there's something happening, then you watch back afterwards and go, well, that's why he was normal. That's why he was dancing, because they're in on the gag.
No, he thinks he's untouchable. And
yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised you didn't see their entrance. Holy cow, dude.
Well, I wouldn't. We were coming back from the trip and we were in the airport and I was seeing it like when I was sitting beside it,
Can you politely remind me something that Jada Pinkett's been in?
No.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, actually.
No, I know. I'm
racking
my brain. And every time she comes up in conversation, I'm always like, and I go right to her first 5 minutes in that one Scream movie where it was just, wow.
She's been in a few things. She's a big metalhead. She's got a metal band and stuff.
Okay, but still that's all right. But I'm wondering like where she gets the self-entitlement of Hollywood. Because she does feel very self-entitled in Hollywood, as does Will Smith, obviously. Like, he won't do his biggest, he turned down a huge role because he didn't want to share the credits with somebody, right?
Well, I can tell you, I've been reading his book. I actually got it. Like, I actually have his book, and I've been reading. And it's like there's an old saying about, like, I think it was Michael Eisner that said this from Disney. He's like, I love reading biographies right up until they made it, and then I put it down, because everything after that is bullshit. Because after they made it, outside of drug problems or whatever, after they've made it. Now they got the money. They're living in the Hollywood Hills. They're a bit out of touch. Whereas sleeping in a van, missing rent payments, eating fucking rock pasta on Queen Street.
So Jason says Tupac's girlfriend. Was she Tupac's girlfriend?
Ooh.
Oh, see, I don't know that. I don't.
You know what? That's actually a pretty good point, Jay. I think you're right. I think she was. Yeah.
Again, though, still like no real acting credentials, though. And that makes sense, Jason. Thank you, man. That's perfect.
Yeah, I'd have to research. But if we've got a research team that could bring it up for us, that'd be great. Jason.
I wasn't sure because maybe she was in the movie Set It Off.
Yeah, probably. There was a whole bunch of those little
maybe, but
she did.
Yeah, I'm just trying because Will Smith has done some great. He has done some fantastic work in the past, but Will Smith doesn't like to share a role. He turned down this huge role because he didn't want to share the spotlight with somebody, and then he turned around and he did this movie where he was the good guy and the bad guy. Do you remember that movie he did where he was like the But so that's where he's at. Yeah, he has to be. That's how hot he's nuts.
Because if you look at like his. I was pulling for him because I thought like the Pursuit of Happiness was fantastic.
That was a great movie. That's
that he did.
Awesome.
That scene that he did in The Fresh Prince when his dad leaves him, dude.
That was a lot of good stuff in there. There's great memories.
He's been building towards it, but anyways, one or two things going to happen here. He's got a long recovery. It's going to be a whole thing, or it was a work. I think the fact that Denzel went up and said to him, the devil comes for you when you're at your highest peak. At the show, he came up and gave him a hug. He said, be careful. Be careful. The devil comes for you when you're at your highest.
How do you know he said that to him?
Because Will said it on stage. Like when he was accepting his Oscar, he was like, listen, Denzel just told me to be careful because the devil comes for you when you're at your highest. You know what I mean? And that's when it's a very interesting kind of thing. And if he is in Scientology, then it wouldn't really matter.
The devil doesn't come when you call him. He just comes.
That's right. So anyways, That's been interesting since we've last chatted.
Yeah, so I give Will Smith a -2 Deaners on that, man. Boo
Sure.
Will Smith. Boo Will Smith.
Well, you know what I do give 10 Deaners to?
What?
These.
Those
The Chips Ahoy.
You like those,
Those
huh?
are the greatest fucking cookies ever. And while I eat one,
Yeah.
I am going to play the trailer from the new Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, bitchin'.
So everyone stand by for this shit. Here we go.
The fight is done. We lost.
Stay hidden.
The key to hunting Jedi is patience. Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail. The Jedi code is like an itch. He cannot help it. Where is he?
Right?
That's awesome.
Is that some badass shit or what?
Obi-Wan rules, man. That's gonna be so. You didn't even get like they don't even show Vader there. Like it's like you're not getting Vader yet, not yet.
You've seen that, yeah?
Yeah, I just love it. I think that's awesome, man. Because this is the stuff that I've been really waiting to see. I love early Vader because he's not quite Vader yet, right? You know what I mean? There's a lot of there's a lot of Anakin still in there. A lot of people think he just goes from being Anakin to Vader, right? It doesn't happen like that. There's so much torturing going on inside of him and mentally and physically from the Emperor, from Palpatine. He's still not sure he's made the right decision, and now he's got this group of Inquisitors that all want Vader's job. So they're right with Vader looking to find other Jedi, but at the same time, they're all wanting to take Vader down. So he's got to keep looking over his shoulder.
Do we think that that's going to be in there?
What's
Do you
that?
think they're going to, like, that part of the story is going to be in there? I know it's in the comic book.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to. Well, as I think this, because this could spin off to a huge Vader. How has there not been a Vader series yet? That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like so I think this is going to spin off into people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, I never thought Vader got treated badly. Wow, there's an actual more character underneath all that. You know what I mean? It's going to be the same thing as like the Mandalorian, I think, but more so it's going to be, wow, there's so many layers to Vader. And I didn't realize he wasn't full on Vader yet. You know, that it was still, there was a chance that he could have turned back to Anakin before Empire. Like there's so many times.
When do you think we see him then? Because I think like if that's the case,
yeah,
it looks like, he's watching Luke and he's got his own journey he's on. But
well, it's obvious it's before A New Hope, right? Because
yeah,
it can't be after A New Hope.
So when do you think you see Vader in this, and then like the way the Mandalorian ended, and then brought the Boba Fett is like that hidden scene. It was like Boba Fett coming soon. To your point, I think it'll probably play out, and then at the end of it, it'll go Vader coming soon. It'll be the next thing, right? And so, but does that happen? Like towards, like, do you not see Vader till the end the way they did with Skywalker?
I don't know. I think they'll bring him in. I think they're not showing it. I think this is going to be a huge Obi-Wan Vader battle. Like it's going to be, and I think you're going to see a lot more. As I mentioned, if they're smart, they start slowly teeing up the layers of Vader in this, right?
Yeah.
So you're thinking that behind the scenes Vader's like this ultimate villain, but really it's like, oh man, There's still Anakin in there, dude. Get out. You know, like, come on, man, come on. And it's like, oh, he didn't make it. You know what I mean? But you're like, oh, Anakin, he's almost Anakin. He's like, oh, man. Or like, you know, dude, fight back against the Emperor. Like, come on, Vader, stand up for yourself. So I think there'll be some moments of that will. That's what happened to me in the comic book. Is that I started reading the comic book, and all of a sudden, because you wonder, it's like, how do you make Darth Vader a hero? And as soon as you get in the first 5 pages of the comic book, you're like, okay, right. You know,
picked on.
Palpatine's like you know, the worst stepdad ever. It's just awful, and he's his dad, really. You know what I mean? Like, but just in that cliche kind of thing. But he is the worst dad ever.
Yeah. Well, I'm stoked. I think it's going to be really rad. And I think we talked about it at the end of Boba Fett, which was we're going to learn about the Jedi Temple and everyone getting away, right? And how I think Grogu got away. So maybe they're going to, like, it's all going to run together, man. I don't know. There's so many stories to cover here. And I'm hoping Obi-Wan is not, and the early thing for me is hoping that Obi-Wan is not just like this 8-part series and that's it. I'm hoping that they've got like 3, 4, 5 seasons in it, because there's so many layers to him. Because you can even fast forward it past the end of this last thing and have him, you know, be Ghost Obi-Wan, right? all the things he's doing, you know, post dying. But God, I wouldn't imagine Ewan McGregor would want to sign up for less than a couple of years. You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He plays such a good Obi-Wan. You know,
he was perfectly cast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, brilliant.
He was perfectly cast. I love that thing of little Luke playing. You know, he's playing on the thing, and you know, Uncle Ben, everyone's there. You know, Baru and all them or whatever. They're
it looks cool, like man. A Jedi's been hung or something, huh? Or an informer, or somebody who's kind to Jedi's.
Yeah.
And that Inquisitor guy with the spinny blade, I forget his name, with the red.
He's the new bad guy.
Yeah. He's pretty bad, man. He's a pretty vicious dude.
Is he in the comic books, or is he in the Clone Wars, or is he?
He's in the comic books. Is he in the Clone Wars? I think he is. He's got to be in the Clone Wars. I'm just blanking on them all now. There's so many of them, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he is or not. Oh, there's Connor. Get well. I'm getting better, buddy. Thank you very much.
Look at that.
It's one of my old students from way back when.
So I'm stoked. I think that's going to be great. We'll play it before at the end again, just so anyone who missed it. But the fact, you know, I love that you love the origin stuff, and you love the fact that Darth isn't quite Darth yet. So, which makes me think that you're going to be super stoked about this, because it's the same. I know we were talking about you seeing it before, and we were going to review it, but you got COVID and you haven't been able to see it yet. Have you read anything online? Have you been reading at all, or trying to avoid it? Or do you know?
As I mentioned, like, I remember we've mentioned this. I don't really look at other people's stuff about it, because then because when I come on here, I don't want to repeat other people's. I don't want to rip off their stuff, right?
Sure.
So no, you know what, dude? Believe it or not, other than like I've watched the deleted Joker scene. Other than that, I have no idea what happened, what went on, anything. Imagine that.
That's amazing.
I know.
That's rad. And that's this scene that we're talking about right here.
Yeah.
So this won't spoil it too much. Obviously, if you've seen the Batman, great. You know that at the end, in the end credits, you hear him laughing in Arkham Asylum. So you're like, okay, that could be the Joker, but it also could be Two-Face, and it also could be this person. You're like, you leave it going, it's probably Joker, but then you're like, oh, it could be Two-Face. Even my little guy was like, is that Two-Face? I'm like, it could be. But then the fact that they've got this deleted scene that's come out that I actually haven't seen yet tells us then that clearly they're going to try to intro the Joker here. So very cool, which, you know, is exciting because, you know, I'm not giving anything away, but I thought they did a really good job with the movie. So it's, you know, it's going to be an interesting way to start it. Coincidentally, I heard that there's a speed bump in the Joaquin Phoenix Joker 2 progress.
Oh, I just watched that again last night. The first one. That's too bad.
Apparently he's apparently there's a delay, or he's not interested anymore or something. Wow. So
that's too bad.
Well, that would be a shame to just have that be one movie.
Yeah, because I just watched that last night, and it was like, man, I wish there was another one I could put in on. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could keep watching this story. So
Yeah.
it's really just picking up its pace, and I was just starting to see the Joker, which was great. That guy. So the new Joker, I guess, is Barry Keoghan. Is how you
Keegan,
pronounce
yeah.
his name.
Yeah, I guess so.
And he was in the
Internals.
Yeah, he was in the Eternals. I can't remember the name of his character because that movie really.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that because we got so many spoilers about like, you know, all these people playing this and playing that and playing
They
the
hid
Penguin,
that one.
but this was like, who's playing the Joker? What?
Yeah.
Like, you know, wouldn't it have been rad if that was actually Joaquin Phoenix there, and then they would have been like, well, how did he get there?
Yeah.
And then they could have like told another backstory about how he got there or something. That would have been cool. But
right,
clearly they're going in a different direction.
Well, the coolest thing, I was going to mention, I'm always going on about older comic books and how great their stories are and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So one of the best things about the Joker is that he's, I don't know if there's a technical writer's term for it, but he's an unfaithful narrator. So whenever he's telling a story, like if you're reading a comic book and it's the Joker's story, he's the guy in the captions telling the story. Yeah. He's an unfaithful narrator. So he's told his origin story over and over again.
But it's never the same.
No, it's never the same, right? But that's him. And that's kind of the mystique of the Joker, why he's so friggin' cool. Yeah. Now, as I mentioned, I'm always talking about these classic stories because they're all really, really, really great. But here's one that just came out last year. And I thought this was fantastic. And you can still get this, I think, for cover price. I don't think it jumped in value. And this is the Three Jokers. If you're lucky enough to be watching, you can see there's the one cover. And they came with little cards. I just have them in my office. But it's the Three Jokers, and there's actually three Jokers. And there's three different origins they tell you, and you have to figure out which one you think is correct. And there's the comedian, the comedian Joker, the psycho Joker, and like three Jokers. So there's the one cover, and I got the variant cover of this one with Batgirl on there, and I also got the variant cover for number 3 with the Red Hood on there. I didn't get all three Joker ones. I got the variant covers, but that's awesome. Look at that. It's great.
And so, holding that crowbar means only one thing.
Oh, I know, right? Well, it's just so cool, right? That's like him now. That's him. Yeah. You see that classic readers know that's him. But this is, you could still pick this up, I think, for cover price. Now these are nice hard case books. Which there's the side you can see there. There we go. Yeah. So these are really nice. Really nice. Story's great.
It's been on the list for me, and I've got sorry that hardcover. Just bring that back up for 1 second. It's Three Jokers. It's 3 different stories within that story, or you got to buy the 3 different versions.
Yeah.
Or it's all in a. It's
3
in
parts. There's part 1, part 2. Part 3.
Yeah,
Whoops, part cool. 3, yeah.
Like that's going to be on a list for tomorrow. Go check it out, sir.
Yeah, if you're going to the comic book store. So today's new comic book day, Wednesday. No, yeah, it's Wednesday. So if you find it in the old stashes there you should be able to get it for cover price still.
Well, we've got Toy Traders. I got the magical store down the street.
Just ask them.
He'll have everything. He'll have everything down here. So
3 Jokers. They'll know it's a great storyline.
Speaking of Kevin Smith, anyway, so the Clerks is coming out again, which is awesome. But they just announced, I don't know if you saw this about Bruce Willis today. You see this?
Yeah, he's had enough.
He can't. He's losing the noggin.
Oh, is that why he's such a jerk to everyone?
He's starting to lose his ability to communicate.
That's weird.
And I don't, he said the same thing in 7 movies, but it's like they just announced it today. He's out. He can't. And Kevin Smith kind of shit on him for a few years, and then he was like, so. Before Cop Out, I was a great fan of Bruce Willis, and then today he was like, sorry. So,
what can you do, man?
That's just everything lives on the internet now. You can't say shit because it's going to live forever. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough. The world's nuts, dude. The world is just nuts.
It really is.
There's Azrael. Hello, bud.
Rakib. Sadly. Oh, who's this? Let's double check this up here.
Rakib Azrael.
There we go. Hello. How you doing? Get well soon. Yeah, there's
Thanks,
that.
Buddy.
So, and obviously, what's that?
He just zinged us.
Woo!
Way to go, Rakib Azrael. Did I pronounce your name wrong?
Maybe that's our friend. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let's assume that it's a bot from Russia or
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Oh, they hate us there.
Our friends in Saudi.
I know. So it's good to see that we're still pissing you off, Rakib. How do you like it?
Guys, make sure you tune into WrestleMania this weekend. Watch our hero and yours. Anyways,
take that, Rakib.
Take that, Rakib. Anyways,
bum hurts now, doesn't it, Rakib?
Yes, sir.
You can't do anything now, Rakib.
Now,
moving along.
switching gears to something really shitty,
Mhm.
for me especially. But the passing of this guy and the sudden passing of this guy, man, oh man, you know what I mean? It's the worst. And I was on a Vegas Strip with Alex. And my wife and daughter were out watching a concert. We took a picture in New York, and then literally a second later, I got this message saying that he had passed, and I'm like, "What?" It's so shocking. Like any of those things were like, I don't know. Remember where you were moments. You remember where you were when Cobain died? When you got the word? Do you remember? Dime bag. I know where I was because Zig texted me.
No.
And he was like there. And
I don't. Celebrities. I love celebrity,
just
man. I
people that
respect him. I don't. Yeah, that never hits me like that. You know what I mean? I don't. I don't know. I think I have to meet people to really.
Sure.
I have to get a piece of them to really
Totally understand. Totally
feel
understand.
the moving on sense. Because
So,
you can see Cobain anytime you want. It doesn't seem like it's really gone. You know what I mean?
yeah, I totally get it. I was on Dean's show on Monday for a couple of minutes talking about it because a lot of shit is going to come when something like this happens. It's the classic, like, me and this guy in 1983 went dirt biking once and he changed my life, and they put a picture up and all the rest of it, and I get it, and people kind of make it about them. But one of the things that I want to touch on with this guy, and it's coming out like crazy right now, is the time that he made for every single person. And I'm going to do, I think, an episode about it. I haven't done an episode in a while. I think it was time to talk about it. But I was in Germany, and they were in the hotel at the same time as us, and they were passing through. And I was wearing my Heart shirt, and I hear in the back of the hotel, like, "Heart fucking rules, man."
Oh, I
And
thought
I'm
it was
like,
going to go the other way.
no. And I was like, I turn around and it's Taylor, and I'm like, oh shit, it's just a random kind of thing, but they are the biggest rock band in the world. You know what I mean? Like it's just what it is. And I was kind of like, whoa, okay. Hi, what are you doing here in Germany? And they were passing through. And you know what he did? This guy, he proceeded to talk about Canada, playing with Atlantis, playing with Sass Jordan, and then he put me in this box with him for like 40 minutes just talking about how much he loved Canada and Sloan and all these bands that played with them. And people are coming up and asking him for autographs and all the rest of it. And he would just kind of politely tell them to stand by. And it was just him and I had this Heart shirt on. And he goes, "Where do you live?" And I said, "Oh, I live in Vancouver." And he goes, "Oh man, we're coming soon. And if you happen to come to the show, tell them that you're Heart shirt guy from Germany, and I'll show you my kit." And he was just really, really cordial and awesome. And I was like, okay. And he went, and then he signed everyone's autograph, and then he was getting in the elevator, and as the door was closing, he yells out, "See you later, Heart shirt guy." It was just this funny kind of moment. And then the next day is the day that Dave fell off stage in Sweden and broke his leg at that festival. And I just never really forgot that, because it was such a random moment. And I was like, when I found out he died, I instantly thought about that, but I was also thinking about how he just put me in that box with him, and he wasn't being an ass to anybody else. He was like, I'm going to talk to you about Canada for a minute. And I was like, wow. And then all this shit that's coming out about him is like, he would call everybody. He wouldn't text them. He would meet this, I think, Machine Gun Kelly, which, I come and go with on Machine Gun Kelly, but he just talked about just meeting them a couple weeks ago or something. And Taylor went and met every single person in the band, met all the crew guys, and went to each individual one of them to ask, "Where are you from? How you been? How's your life?" And just would do that with every single person. He's like, you do that. And I was like, man, this guy just makes time for everybody. And that's the story that's coming out about this guy. And it's a shame.
Nice.
I'm not sure they're going to.
Why? How'd he die?
Jury's out.
Oh.
Heart condition, 50 years old. And there's going to be varying reports on that. The first is an enlarged heart, and it was important. Like when I went on with Dean, it was important to, because the Colombian government was like, "We found this and we found this," and it's like, nope. I want to tell the story about this guy, and how rad he is, because he's really makes some time for people. I don't want that overshadowing, or the other thing to overshadow. So heart trouble. They were called. They couldn't revive him. That's what we've been told. That's what we'll go with. Highs and lows, man.
Yeah. So is Travis Barker going to be the next Foo Fighters drummer?
I bet you they don't play any more shows, man.
No, you think that'll be it, huh? Retire the Foos?
It's like anything else. It's like they spent a lot of time as it being Dave's band, and then I've also spent a lot of time building each individual member of that band up to be a thing. And it's like Van Halen trying to go out now without, it would be just Alex and Dave and Mike with like guest guitar players. It now at this point, there's no way. Pantera, they're like, oh, we're going to go out with, it's, Vinny's, at one point it was going to be, they were talking Vinny and Rex and Phil, and then what's his nuts from Ozzy's band, Zach Wilde. But I'm like, it pays tribute to him, but it's not it. I don't know, like, the Hip are a prime example. Like they have to kind of do, how are they going to do this without Gordy? They can only do it with a guest singer and pay tribute to him. So maybe they could do it with like Jim Cuddy, or maybe they could do it with somebody that everyone loves and respects and pay tribute to him and use it as that. But the Foos have spent so much time building this guy up as each individual guy. Have you ever seen them
live? No, I don't think I have, actually. No.
Yeah, I just don't, I can't imagine it being the same feeling. The same feeling. I don't know. Zeppelin did that reunion thing a little while ago, a couple years ago at the O2 with all the guys, and then Bonham's kid was on the drums, and that was, people were like, cool, that's Bonham's kid.
So they probably, maybe they'll call it, that'll be it for that. He'll come out to start a new band.
Maybe they put that kid in, the girl, that Nandy girl. Remember that she did this drum thing. She's like 13 or 12, and she plays, and she's playing all these Foo Fighters songs, and they brought her up on stage to play with the band, to play Everlong in LA last summer. And she's like a real good drummer. So maybe when she's 17, 18, they put it back together, and she steps in, and people will be like, oh, that she was, Taylor was her hero, and and whatever, and maybe there's like a little bit of a tribute to him or something. But I don't know, man. I can't. Pat Smear's never been in a band that someone has died.
Wow, that's not good.
Is it crazy?
You would think it'd be him that would have died too, right? He's like really old. He's definitely the oldest guy.
Man, it was a weird one. I just was like, it just sucked. It just sucked. I really dug the guy. I thought he was really great. I thought he was a great drummer, and I wanted to keep seeing him play drums. So for me, I was like, fuck, it kind of sucked. But anyways, onwards and upwards on that side of it. So
that's too bad.
It's kind of shitty, but but what's going on?
So Vancouver Canucks, they're out of the playoffs spot now. There's no chance for them, or what are we looking at?
Slight.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Slight chance. I think they're down to what they call a magic number. If they lose 3 games, it's over.
Wow. Now the Leafs last night had a great outing against the Bruins, but they lost 3 players. One of them was good to lose. Get rid of Hole. I can't believe that takes an injury for a puck to hit him in the right spot to get rid of him. But they also lost Mrazek, which, and then the other guy, Makabrushkin or whatever his name is.
The Taylor Hall punch.
And he only got was a fight. Again, like, apparently smacking somebody these days is not that big of a deal, because he went up with his glove and clocked him right in the side of the ear.
It was like the Bertuzzi thing almost. Not quite, but it would have been pretty ugly if he would have reacted in a bad way.
It's a deal.
Yeah, it was Canuck wise, dude. It's not great. The odds are not great. There was something like 14 games left, and they had to go, or whatever it was. It was 20 games left, and they had to go 14-4 or 14-6 to stand a chance of getting in. And I went to the Golden Knights game the other night in Vegas, Alex's first hockey game, and it was in Vegas and Chicago.
Wow.
And if Chicago won, that would have helped Vancouver a substantial amount because they were only like 4 points back or something.
Yeah, look at Vegas not maybe making the playoffs with all their injuries. Wow.
I mean, what a story they've been though. I mean, geez, it's been amazing. And what an experience. Holy shit. I've never
pretty wild there.
I've never been to like anything like that. Like like it's like literally like a concert, man. It's like everything is on level 15. The ice is jacked up. The intros are just like like it's just they blow this up, they blow that up. When they like people are so stoked for that team. When they score that, it's the loudest goddamn thing I've ever heard. It's literally like I've never seen anything like it.
Is their merch section pretty impressive? Oh yeah, I thought they'd have a wild merch section.
Ish. It was kind of like just your typical shit. I got Alex a hat, and there you go. But, it's like anything else. But it was
no action figures or anything.
No.
It
was lame.
Really cool.
It was lame, but it was it was a good experience. But it was great. It was pretty cool. But I think they're fucked, and I feel for Toronto because I don't know what they're gonna do. They don't have any goaltending.
No, that's pretty. Giordano, man, what a score! Wow, what a great goal or defense. Sorry, what a great defenseman that guy is.
I've had him in my pool. I've had him in my pool off and on all year.
That's Don Cherry's favorite defenseman, right? Favorite active defenseman.
Don Cherry's still talking?
I just knew he was from before. Yeah, he has a podcast actually. Don Cherry.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I wonder if he gets to come back soon.
He should. That's another one where they were just waiting to get rid of him because his buddy there made a comment, a homophobic comment, and it flew right by everybody. Nobody.
Who, McLean?
Yeah. Oh
really?
Yeah. Yeah, tarps off some kind of thing deal he said about I can't even, I don't know. It went too quick for me. I didn't quite catch it, and then I caught it on the replay. And of course, Gen X kid. Okay, sure, right? Like, I guess I'm offended. I don't know. Like Gen X's don't get offended very easily.
Yeah,
we're pretty.
We don't.
No, we don't. Especially Canadian. We're sarcastic. Canadians, Gen Xers, we're just sarcastic and ironic. That's us.
Yeah, and it's the whole flag mess has settled down a little bit, and everyone's in jail, which is great. So,
with the trucks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. All they had to do was just hang on for another month, and everything's fine. Like the masks are gone and everything. All they had to do was just chill for another month.
Yeah, it's still about the shot though. It's still about the vaccine. That's
okay, right.
It's really about that because you can't fly and all that shit without it.
Oh yeah, see, I'm pretty stationed. I don't like traveling anyway, so.
No, you don't. But you're due. Aren't you due for like a Florida Mexico thing or something?
Oh,
you love all that shit.
Never going to Florida again.
Well, you've already got the COVID. You're good.
No, but I don't want to get. It's the whole. If I ever go to Florida, man, I got to have like a lot of money and get like first class, and because that whole airport flying thing is too stressful for a guy like me. It's just not cool. Like flying inside of Canada was great. Wow.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I even had like a big bag of weed with me when I came to visit you and Taylor, right?
Right.
And the lady's like, I smelled it. I smelled you guys. She had that Jamaican accent and everything. Little white boy knows how to grow his herb, does he? Let me check it out. She pulled it right out, sniffing it like, you're good. She puts it back in. I can smell it all the way from the door, she says. It's hilarious. She was so nice to me, though, dude. It was great. You're only allowed to bring a certain amount with you, and I didn't exceed that. And it's my own grown and whatever. But but traveling in Canada, I find was amazing. It was the opposite. I was laughing my head off when I was doing stuff. Going to Florida was right when COVID hit, just before we all knew what we were in for. And oh my God, I was in a line for.
It's a little different. It's a little different now, but it's a touch different now. But
even thinking about it's giving me anxiety. No way. No.
Well, well, you got that great yard. You got a great place to hang out. Anyway,
I can't wait to cut the yard. Let's get some nice weather out here.
Because it's still nuts there, right? So
it's just start. Tomorrow's going to be like plus 12, but with rain. So we'll get rid of everything, and hopefully we'll get back in the scheme of things. Yeah, my new comic book is out. Skeletron issue 3. You can find me on machetecomics.ca. You can buy the comic book there, or if you go to etsy.ca, Machete Comics, one word. you can find there. I'm Chris Machete on Facebook, on TikTok, on Twitter.
All the things.
I'm out there, man. Yeah, I'm very, very social on TikTok. I have such great following on there. And we just got an order in from my buddy Green Pods, I think is his name on there. I'm blanking. But he's from Australia. So another order of Skeletron hitting across. And this is the third time this gentleman's bought a Skeletron issue off. So this is the third issue of Machete Comics to cross over into Australia. Of course, we got a couple more orders from the States, lots from Canada, man. And I just thank you to all the support that everybody's continued to give me on this. We have a comic convention coming up at the end of April. I believe it's April 27th, I think. You'll have to check. If you go to our website, you'll be able to see when it is, and that's here in Kingston. So you can actually physically come out and buy the comic book from me there in Kingston. Now, if you are in the Durham area, there's a store called Super Zuka, and it is attached to Deadly Grounds Coffee, and you can buy our comic book there as well. As a matter of fact, I think you can get a copy of issue number 1. Now, that comic is going for $15 now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it is. So there's none out there, man. So I think there might be one at Deadly Grounds Coffee, but you got to pay for it. Got to pay for it. I don't think there's any up on the Etsy store. They're gone there.
Gone. Okay.
Yeah. Issue 2 and 3 is available though, which is great. And I'm inking issue 7. I'm inking issue 7 right now, and issue number 4 is in the system here. It's just being colored, so we're staying on top of things. Life's good.
It's rad, man. I love it.
Thank you.
I love knowing a comic book guy. I love knowing the fact that my friend is published. It's the fucking best.
It's fun. There's a great, and at the beginning of that one, there's a great Kevin Smith Easter egg in there.
Did you? Let me ask you this. So through the COVID thing, were you down for the count, or were you productive?
No, I was fine, dude. As I mentioned, I wouldn't have known I had COVID.
Sure.
I would have thought I was just maybe for the first time in like over a decade getting a bit of a cold.
Yeah,
that's it. The one thing was that I felt tired, and I could feel it like in my respiratory. Mm-hmm. And let's say that if I did get active, like say I got up and cleaned the house, you know what I mean? Things like that, or, I did some yoga like I like to do, or lifted a little bit of weightage. I could feel it in my chest a little bit, you know what I mean? But not, I don't know if it was because I got 2 shots, but I've also mentioned I haven't been sick in well over a decade. My immune system is pretty strong. And no, I kept motoring, dude. As I mentioned, I would have just kept going life as usual if I didn't know that I had COVID.
Well, and that's the world now, isn't it? They just kind of, and you get it through testing. So, or you find it through testing, and that's why everyone is kind of like, I think if all this silliness and madness and all the rest of it was going to go, if they just would have put in free testing for everybody, or some kind of access to it. Like long ago, I know the kits weren't available. If they just would have put it in, they would have caught a lot of things, and I think a lot of more people would have been like, okay, cool. But the fact that they weren't taking symptomatic people for a long time. It's a whole thing. So I'm glad that you at the very least you tested for it. And
I still, there's one like I figured like I had it. I felt like I got a little cold coming on. So what I did was I took a whole bunch of CBD oil with some like a little bit of THC CBD oil, and a lot of it, and a bunch of Tylenol. Yeah, and so I slept the one day when I found out I had COVID. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going anywhere. I might as well just shut my body down and rest for the day. So I pretty much slept the whole day away. And then, I got up and I was like, I feel a little bit sick, but
there you go.
I checked myself twice just to make sure. I took the test twice. It was like, nah. I thought I was just going to be doing
No way.
Yeah. I was like, no, get out of here.
The one time I went outside.
One time I took my mask off. That was what it was. It was my own fault. If I would have kept my mask on, I would have been fine.
But how was the show?
Oh, the show was great. Yeah, so I saw Willem Scream,
Cancer
Comeback
Bats?
Kid, and Cancer Bats.
I love Cancer Bats. What a great band.
It was great, and like my daughter went with me, Taylor, right? So we just hung out, and she found out how awesome of a dude I am to go to a show with, because I like to find a spot at the back, and I don't like to talk to anybody, and it's so great because I wasn't playing the show, and I had the mask on a lot of the time, some of the time, and nobody come up and talk, and I just kick at the back, get a great view, and see it. So Taylor's like, watch my drink. She go get it. Watch my purse. Watch my this. And then, where are you? I was like, look exactly where you left me. Oh, sorry. There you are. So
she's scrambling everywhere.
Man. I'm just like, 'cause she's used to being with people that are all over. Oh my gosh, where'd that person go? It's like, no, I'm just at the back, leaning on the bar, man. I'm not going anywhere. That's where I'm going to be. It was great. So I had a really good time. Of course, I got to hang out with Mark and talk to him, and I saw some other Kingstonians, some old friends that I haven't seen in a while, which is pretty rad. Plus, the mansion is genius because you got the upstairs where the punk rock show is. It's a great venue, and then down below, and the sound. However they soundproofed it, I don't know. Down below is a pub with some really good food and great beer, and a patio outside in the summertime. That's fantastic. Huge patio.
Yeah,
Huge
I think
patio.
we went there. We went there before with Mark.
Oh, we played there before.
Yeah, and the oh yeah, that would have been a great show.
Yeah, it was just a great venue. I had a lot of fun to get out. It was hilarious too because my daughter, right, she's in her early 20s, and she she's like, okay, I just want to go and see just a little bit of Comeback Kid. And of course, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm fine getting out earlier. Mind you, this show started at 6:00 and was over at 10:30. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. That's awesome. Love it. Right?
If I'm coming to a show, this goddamn thing better be over by 9.
It's over by 10:30, dude. So anyway, we get there, and of course, Taylor gets we get partway through Willem Scream, the first band, and Taylor's like, I think I might want to stay for the whole night. And I was like, yeah, whatever you want to do. I said, well, you better run up the street and buy me a great big joint. Because if I'm going to sit here all night, man, because I didn't bring anything with me. So she ran up the street, got me from the, what do they call them? Yeah, the weed place.
Yeah.
And brought me a great big joint, went up front, smoked it, and I was very relaxed, and I watched the show, and I had a great time. I just had I think I had 2 beer the whole night, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's not usually I'm trying to get more in before I have to leave, get more beers, right? Get more beer, another shot. But no, I just had a couple beers, smoked a doobie, and just chilled. It was a very relaxing night. Lo and behold, I got COVID from it, but
hey,
I think it could have been, hey, you know what? It could have been Walmart, man. For all I know, it could have been Walmart.
Let's blame Walmart and leave rock out of it.
Okay, let's leave rock and roll out of it. It's Walmart. It was Walmart.
And then you're putting together a show for your birthday.
Yeah, well, yeah, August 27th. My birth's the 25th. The show's 27th. Yeah. It's on a Saturday. It's at the Mansion. I'm waiting to hear back from the headliner who I requested. So I'm not gonna. But I have some great special guests. There's gonna be some really. There's gonna be. Think of some bands in Kingston, some performers who live in this area.
Yeah.
Punk rock wise, who came up.
Speaking of, I think our buddy Jeff's coming out here on tour. He's going to be at the Commodore, and I'm hoping to be able to be here for that.
Oh, that's great.
He's here. Yeah, I think they're coming out in October.
Wow, that's awesome.
We'll see.
Yeah, Jeff's going to come up and do I can say that Jeff from Moist is going to come up and play a song with me. He's going to do. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a couple tunes.
Sure.
And I'm going to do some Machete stuff, of course. Maybe throw in some Caliber stuff. I'm not sure what kind of a band I'm going to put together for it yet. I had one idea originally, but I might change it around a bit, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, waiting on the headliner. It's just going to be fun, Somebody might be going out for a rip at some point in time. We don't know.
Who knows, eh?
You never know. There might somebody might hate somebody by a female's name. I don't know. There might be some of that hating going on. There might be a little bit of hating somebody, and there might be a little bit of going for a rip. There might be a little bit of that.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be your way soon, so hopefully we can do this live again like we did before. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I should be your way in a couple of weeks for all the things to line up in the sky.
Decent.
So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So, anyways, lots going on. But it's WrestleMania weekend. I think we'll get into that next week as far as how that go. Our buddy Mike's actually going down there, so he's going to hang out with.
Just gotta watch what we show and watch what we talk about because they like to shut us down.
Oh, sure. But I want to just talk about your favorite WrestleMania moment. That's a simple one. That's easy. We can't get in trouble for that. That's an easy one. But I think Karima's around. I'm going to try to get her. She's a big wrestling fan, and put all the truckers in jail. So that's fun to watch. And I think Mike's around, and I don't know. We'll take a little bit of a poll leading into next week. But for this week, a couple things. Do yourself a favor. Go see the Batman, and it's real cool. This sucks. Rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins, our good friend Smitty. Rest in peace, buddy. And to everybody else out there, have yourself a rad week.
My mom and dad didn't get COVID. We kept the COVID away from them. They're safe at home, right, guys?
Gracious Gary, dangerous Dorothy.
They're fine. Hi, guys. We're okay.
How dangerous is Dorothy if she gets the COVID? She's double dangerous, Dorothy.
Well, we can't let her get the COVID. That was one thing. Or Taylor. Taylor can't get it either. She's going out on tour. So
That's right. Taylor, stay out of those clubs.
no COVID. All right.
That's it for the Kids on the Escalator for this week, everybody. DeanBlundell.com is where you can find us on all the things. I'm Brenton from the Brenton on Tour. That is Chris Machete over there. Good times.
Rad dudes.